Hi everyone, so there are some pretty interesting Last Epoch news. In case you're not aware, Last Epoch is coming out of a huge update, the Tombs of the Erased, on currently scheduled for the 2nd of April. And a lot of people are looking forward to that, including myself. Last Epoch was pretty massive last year when it came out, and now it has been kind of slumbering for a while they were cooking, and it does look really cool. So if you don't know anything about it, there's like basically a revamped endgame, lots of new crafting, lots of new items, and reworked Sentinel, the entire class basically, and also a new marksman skill called Heartseeker. And we actually got some more information about that stuff yesterday, so I want to show that a little bit because I'm actually very excited. So I watched this while they were doing an interview live, and we discussed it a little bit on my stream as well. And well, it does look amazing, so I'm really pumped, and a lot of people are in as well. So we actually had Carv here at some point screen sharing a little bit in this call. And then we saw this here, so he was kind of like showing a few things off with like, how some of the reworked skills work. So this is like, I think, a Void Knight right now. And he was showing off, for example, the volatile reversal, which is kind of like a very important skill on this class. And they have revamped basically all of these like Sentinel skills, the skill trees, like most of it is buffed basically, or just like made more interesting and better. So here, for example, we have this kind of skill where you can like teleport around and teleport backwards. Apparently there's also a way now to make this just a teleport and not with this reversal effect anymore, for example. So I think that's going to be pretty exciting. Also like these sigils of hope that usually like especially like paladin builds had to like spam to like keep up their buffs and do some damage has been revamped now. So it works like this now, where it kind of like accumulates a buff, and then when you press a button, it will use all of them at once, and you don't have to like constantly spam them to keep them up. So I think that's also going to be very nice and much better received than it was, because I know that a lot of Sentinel builds were a lot about kind of like buff management and keeping up certain timers and so on. So it seems like it has been made a little bit more quality of life now. Here's also some cool flashy stuff with the Javelin. So you get a lot of like revamped kind of bro abilities here as well. There's also a Sentinel thing. So this looks like this here, where you can play some kind of like ranged Javason kind of paladin now or something like that, or Void Knight even. So this is kind of cool. It looks very amazing. It might be also one of the stronger things. Now, I'm not part of the closed beta test myself. There's certainly a lot of other people that can speak about this at some point, at least when they lift the embargo on all the information, I guess. But yeah, there's pretty cool stuff you can cook now with the Sentinel, I think. So I'm actually excited to try out the class. I've never really made a Sentinel. I've been mostly on the rogue side of things, and yeah, a little bit of the other stuff like Acolyte. But yeah, Sentinel might be something to try out. However, one other really cool thing that is coming is actually for the rogue, which is the new Heartseeker marksman skill. So they actually added like a whole new skill of its own tree, and that one also looks pretty cracked, to be honest. So this is a little bit like the magic arrow from Diablo 2, but it can like kind of attach to a target and kind of curve around it all the time and come back and pierce it again and again and again. So it kind of built into multi-hitting a certain target, and then when that target dies, it kind of just automatically goes to the next. So this is what it looks like. You see here, he shoots like once, and then the arrow kind of like goes back and forth all the time. And I think like certain different upgrades also make the skill look different with like how it behaves and the colors and so on. So I actually have like a really cool like new skill here. I'm actually very excited for that. And once we started on the stream, a lot of people also got really hyped. And this looks like something that, with all these multi-hits would obviously be very good for something like ailment stacking. You can like bleed and poison and these kind of things with that. Maybe even like ignite and frostbite and so on. Or just, do some kind of like attack build and a crit build, for example. So there's multiple ways to build it from what we saw on the preview of the passive tree. We don't have the full passive trees yet for all of the skills. I guess eventually they will be released, but it definitely looks like there's some cool stuff coming, especially when people that have already played these classes and want to have something fresh. Personally, I've tried Marksman as like one of my first characters ever in Last Epoch, like years ago at this point, and I was not really that impressed. It was just kind of like weak and undertuned, it felt to me most of the time. I know there were some decent builds here and there, but yeah, this new Heartseeker skill, plus there's a rework to the talent trees as well a little bit, could be really exciting. And not just that, but it can also respec masteries now. So in case you haven't seen that yet, in Season 2, you'll be able to respec your mastery. This was previously not possible. You're kind of like locked in your like class, basically. And now you can actually, for example, try multiple builds with the same character. When you level them up, you can try to gear up multiple builds at the same time, for example, with, the right loot filter. You can just make sure you collect a lot of stuff for different builds and then try them out. Or you can just buy them if you're playing Merchant's Guild, for example. And even like other strategies, like you can level with one thing and then respec to something else once you have the stuff later on, just to like stay the most efficient and so on. So that seems pretty cool as well, and also encourages more experimentation, which is amazing. Other than that, I know there's going to be 2 more rounds of interviews that the devs are having with some creators. I'm not sure who now, but there was one with Rax and Ziz, and then there was the one with Gazi now, and yeah, 2 more are coming. So it's gonna be some more juicy info. And if you want to see more, then well, go check out this site here. I can also link this down here. It just has a bunch of the like overview basically of what is coming. There's also like this trailer here, which is pretty amazing. And it kind of like shows off a little bit what is coming. So I'm going to keep you guys updated with more stuff in the future. So it's like another around 3 weeks now until the launch, a little bit less. So people are kind of like ramping up the preparations, including myself. I'm going to be prepping for the Uber Aberoth hardcore world first race, of course. And I think that's going to be quite a spectacle when it actually goes live. So hope you're also going to be excited for that. Let me know what you think about Last Epoch. I think it's really good time to try it out and just jump in again in case you have played it before. And yeah, it seems like it's very hype with what's coming. So that's it for now, and see you guys next time.